Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Chubs Gone Wild, episode 449, which means we have a 450 milestone coming up next week. Yay!
What?
Excited?
What is it?
450 next week.
Four. I thought, did we hit four already? Oh, that's
yeah.
right. We had the 420 episode.
Right.
Jesus.
I know. All right. Well, thank you so much for your dings. Anyway, it is June 30th, 2022, and it's currently about 95 degrees and partly cloudy outside the Chubs Gone Wild studios, where it is 133 days until Halloween, 188 days until Christmas, and 134, a mere 134 days until TJ Zombie Girl retires. Looking forward to it. Happy Pride Month. How's your Pride Month going?
Mine?
Yes.
Well, okay, look, I went over to, it was weird because there was a gay comic at Punchline.
Yeah. Who?
And they never even, I mean, the Punchline didn't advertise it as a Pride event. And so there was like probably a third of the third full.
Wow.
And you're not going to know his name, but he's like popular with the San Francisco crowd. He lived in San Francisco, did comedy in San Francisco for quite a while. He would go on to the local liberal morning show, and when one of the hosts was gone, he would sub for the day, so he did a lot of that. So he's pretty well known, but there was nobody there. It was weird. And I mean, quite literally, I think there were two tables with gays and ours was one of them.
Wow.
It was weird. It was just, I was surprised.
Yeah, that's too bad, especially on what was it, Saturday, right?
Scott Capuro. Scott Capuro.
Okay.
But he was very, very insulting. I mean, he was. You would have been like, okay, I'm triggered. I'm offended. Oh my God, I'm going to explode here in the audience right now. Because it was. I mean, that's kind of his shtick, is to, he's going, look, I don't want to steal your children. I'm grooming them. Why would I want to steal them? And stuff like that, that you're like, oh no, oh God, you're just feeding into it. And then he does. Actually, we had a guy that showed up with a gun and he had to go and put it back in his car.
What?
Well, concealed weapon,
Yeah.
And so all three comics made, taking a gun to a comedy show joke. And I'll tell you, with this guy and the girl who was the second to do the show, they were both very, very offensive, and I can just see somebody with a gun, killing them.
Yeah.
On stage.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it was a little tense, but it was a funny show. We laughed a lot.
That's good.
But I just don't understand why, if you have a gay comic playing your club in June, not during Pride Week, not Sacramento Pride Week, but in between Sacramento and San Francisco Pride Week, where you got not much going on, you would have advertised it.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, the smaller clubs with the local comics seem to do a better job of advertising than that's too bad. But I'm glad it was fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little offensive humor can be fun. You let your hair down, have a few drinks, and just say, okay, I'm going to go with this.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, let's see. So happy Pride Month. And also, it's not quite there yet. We still have another day, but happy summer solstice.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Have you seen the weather for next week or the rest of this week and
No,
next week?
I try to just not look.
Here, let me tell you. Okay. Let's see. Let's start off with what you want to start off with tomorrow?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so tomorrow is going to be 104.
Mm,
Wednesdays 102,
mm,
Thursdays 101,
mm.
and Friday and Saturday are 98, 99. Then Sunday is 100, and then it's 99, 95, 93, 91, 90, and we'll be back in the 80s by in about 10 days.
Well, the 80s are good. I don't even mind the low 90s as long as the air conditioner's working, but hundreds are just too much for me.
Yeah, but we won't be in the 80s again until July.
Well, at least we'll get there. We can do it.
Okay.
Hang on, Snoopy, hang on. Anyway, I always thought they were saying hang on, Snoopy. Anyway, so we'll get there. It's all good. Remember that summer brings blessings, even though we're more autumn winter people. So anyway, also today is Juneteenth observed. Yesterday was Juneteenth, but today is the observed day of it. So some people have it off. However, California state workers do not have it off because they didn't have enough time to get it implemented this year.
Right. So this year it's just a federal holiday.
Yes, and it will snap up. Now we need Cesar Chavez Day to become a national holiday. It is a California recognized holiday, but not you know.
You're not going to get paid for it, so it's
Well, I don't get those days off. I just do my work. So
yeah, I used to hate going to work, when I did work, and it was like all my friends worked for the state, so they had like 1,400 holidays a year, so it's like they were rarely ever at work, and I had 7 holidays off, and that was it. 7 holidays. New Year's Day, yay. Then we got to go all the way to Memorial Day, so that was always the worst one because that was 5 full months of no holidays. And then it was 4th of July, Labor Day, and then after Labor Day it was Thanksgiving, and usually the day after Thanksgiving.
That was always nice.
Yeah, and then it was Christmas Day. That was it.
Yeah, those are good ones. Now, see, if you were a pagan, or you'd get 6 more on top of that.
Yeah,
because
pagans get the day off.
If you press for it, although it's the big 4, the solstices and the other equinoxes or whatever it is. Those are the big 4, but in between each one are minor holidays. So yeah, you just say, hey, it's against my religion to work today. I got to go, cast some spells, dance around a fire naked. Yeah. So, and people in Texas freak out. Anyway, all right. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more, including the podcast My Life in Fragments, which a new episode will be released later today. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJs, Sage from Univaz. Also, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, and Moose B. Please visit patreon.com/MattBurleyGame. Find out how you can get all those good things for as little as $1 a month. And now that a decent time has passed, also the new Eden's Bay episodes will be posted as well. Yay. Well, on June 20th, in the historical vaults, I did a lot of digging and found out that today, in 1975, Jaws, a film directed by Steven Spielberg that made countless viewers afraid to go in the water, opened in theaters. The story of a great white shark that terrorizes New England, well, a resort town, became an instant blockbuster and the highest grossing film in movie history until it was bested by 1977's Star Wars. So 2 years anyway. Jaws was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture category and took home 3 Oscars for Best Film Editing, Best Original Score, and Best Sound. The film, a breakthrough for director Spielberg, then only 27 years old, spawned several sequels. Several, wasn't there like 5?
I know 4.
Was it 4? I know my mom was obsessed with these films and watched them over and over and over.
Thank God. Thank God for Carol and her mediocre movies she loves to watch. And it's funny because I've always been a big fan of kind of schlocky films.
Mm-hmm.
And it's everyone's always like, oh, how can you watch garbage? And it's like, well, because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's stupid and it's fun, and they're always good for, like these kind of movies are good for scares. Same thing with the horror films, the schlocky kind of horror films. I sometimes I hate having a movie that's so good, technically good and the acting's good. It's kind of boring. Sometimes I want to have a Tori Spelling in there just to stir things up.
Yes, I do love Tori Spelling. She's just a little nutcase. Yeah, so that was really cool. I remember being scared the first time I saw it as a kid. I mean, I didn't see it in the theaters or anything, but I was petrified.
It's a terrifying movie. It's terrifying. It really is. I when I was in Los Angeles, I got in the water once. And it wasn't shark, but the waves were pretty hefty. And I was standing in, I'd say about, let's say it was about 4.5, 5 feet of water. So, maybe about shoulder height, right? And then this wave came in, and then there was like, probably 3 or 4 feet of water above me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got to the, I popped up to the top and got out of the water, and I've never been back in since.
Wow.
Well, that's not true. I did get in the water in Hawaii.
What about like not even like your feet? Just
no. Well, actually, the weird thing is that I have trouble walking on sand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The nemesis of those who have issues. Yes.
Yeah. And it's funny because we were on this tour and the guy goes, yeah, now if you go over there, there's this really nice spot you might want to go take a look at. And I'm like, no, it's all sand. And he's like, yeah, it's the beach. And I go, yes, sand doesn't like me.
Yeah, I get it. Sand is for thin people, and sometimes not even them. Anyway, so today, let's find out if we celebrated any holidays. Any of
by accident?
Yes.
Okay.
Made up oddball holidays. American Eagle Day. Nope, haven't seen any of them. Hike with a Geek. No
hiking right there. You've lost me.
Right. National Ice Cream Soda Day. That sounds interesting. Dear. Kugelman. Yes, there's a special day there. Also, Vanilla Milkshake Day. I'd totally be into one of those. I have to suck down some lactose pills, but I could go for a nice vanilla milkshake right now.
See, I've actually been in the mood for a banana milkshake.
Yeah, I know you like those. Those sound really to me. But well, yeah, I've never had one, so I could be wrong.
Sean doesn't like bananas.
Well, anyway, yeah. My mom is supposed to have them, but she's burned out on them. So now when I get the bunches, if I don't eat them right away, yeah, 3 days later, they're brown and I'm throwing them out.
Just throw them in a blender.
Yeah, that would be actually. That you know what that might be something. That might
See,
be
because
something.
you guys always have milk there, so
Yes,
you know,
she always has milk.
and you don't have to do the ice cream. You can always just do a banana milkshake with it's not ice cream based. Because see, it kills me on all levels. Because the milk, the ice cream, the diarrhea. Oh wait, no, that comes after. Okay,
Hmm.
but yeah, it has to be very special occasion for me to have a banana milkshake. Usually, Foster Freeze once a year offers. Oh,
We
we
have
got
one locally.
they're part of Wiener Schnitzel.
Oh yeah. Okay, I think he said something like that. Hmm. I'll have to go over there. I haven't been to Wiener Schnitzel in eons. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, well, they haven't offered it lately, but they were offering 5 for 5, where you could get 5 corn dogs or 5 chili dogs or a
Oh.
mix of that.
Yeah.
And what's really good to do is if you get the chili dog, don't get the cheese. Go home and use your craft singles, unwrap it, put the craft single in over the cheese, or actually, if you can tuck it in to the bun,
Uh-huh.
and then wrap it up and let because they're still warm. You can throw them in the microwave for like a few seconds, and
Mhm.
that'll make them melty. But if you buy the cheese on the chili cheese dogs, it's
Mhm.
like $1 more a slice.
Yeah.
It's like fuck you people. No, no. But then and then I also saw a good one where you can take the corn dog, pull
Mm.
it off the stick, slice it halfway, well, slice into the hot dog, flare it open, and then put chili in there. So you have a chili corn dog.
Mm. Mm.
What's wrong with chili corn dog?
Mm. Actually, they have corn dogs that you can buy that already have like either chili flavoring in them or they already have like little cheese bits in them too.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. But yeah, Clint and I used to go over to Wiener Schnitzel every once in a while and take those deals. He'd get the chili dogs and I'd take the corn dogs, and I loved the little mini corn dogs. Those were always so fun. Memories.
Yeah,
Food
they usually
memories.
have those on holidays. Like, well, actually, it's more sporting holidays than holidays. So, like on like Super Bowl weekend, they usually offer the mini corn dogs, that type of stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to try those. Yeah, I actually now I really want to go over there. Also today we celebrate why did they do this to me? Uh Nystagmus. Nystagmus? I do not know. Plain yogurt. Look, ride to work. Take your cat to work day. Seriously. Come on. Toad what?
It's just that's so stupid.
Like I take your dog to work day, I can kind of get because dogs and usually they
Well,
love people and everything, but a
and you can
cat,
keep them on a leash. You can bring the
yeah,
kennel with you so they have somewhere to stay.
right. But the cat, no, 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 no.
Yeah, next thing you know, he's crapping in the rice in the kitchen because he thinks it's a sandbox.
More like he's found some high file cabinet to hide behind, and you can't find him for 3 days. And uh, anyway, Toad Holiday of thank you. Toad Holiday of thank you. They're really stretching this shit. World Productivity Day and also World Refugee Day, which is an important day. Well, I don't think I've celebrated any of those. Nope, haven't. Moving on. Chub hugs. What you got?
You first.
I didn't really have. Okay, I will send chub hugs out to
They're free,
anyone.
you know.
What? Oh, to anyone, yes, including Drew, people who have lost their dads recently, whether you had a good or strained relationship with them, but yeah, and anyone who had a strained relationship with their dad, Chub hugs out to you.
Well, can we just say those who have to suffer through Father's Day,
Mm.
but it's kind of like people go, hey, happy Father's Day, to your dad. It's like, well, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, that's you probably saw my post on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
For those that didn't, I just kind of posted, that this is the first day, Father's Day after his death, but it's not my first one without him because he was kind of an absentee father. I wasn't trying to dog him or get sympathy or anything, but it was just kind of an observation, and I guess it resonated with a lot of people. So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember they don't do that really like at work, but I remember at work it was always, oh, what are you going to be doing for Mother's Day? I don't know, visiting her grave.
Yeah.
And it's not that I wanted to be mean. It's just like, stop thinking, oh, I'm just going to mindlessly walk through life without thinking about what other people might be going through. And because that's one thing that's always bothered me. It's always bothered me. And I'm not, obviously people aren't going to go, well, let's see, he's in his 50s, so chances are his mother is probably not, it just stop being so fucking happy. Sharing your goddamn holidays.
Well, there you go.
It should be, I still have a parent that's alive. I should be grateful for that. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah, there's actually a couple companies that will, you can tell them not to send you those specific emails too.
Right.
So
my chub hug goes out to Brian, who's back from his vacation, and that we'll be recording again next week, and how exciting that all is.
That's wonderful.
And I just hope, because he was in Europe, so
hope he didn't pick up an accent.
No, I'm worried about his jet lag, how long it's going to take, because he was there 3 weeks.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
That's true.
Yeah, I get jet lag, going to Hawaii, not going there, but coming back, because even after a week, you get used to everything being 2 hours later.
Right.
So when you wake up at, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going, hey, look, it's still, 11 in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's usually 11 because we usually hit there after daylight savings time. Actually, daylight savings time is we get there on Thursday. Daylight savings time is Saturday. So 3 days in, and you guys are changing your clocks, but we aren't.
That's nice.
So that's kind of fun. And then we come back, and then we have to change all our clocks.
I thought we were working on not doing that anymore.
Oh yeah, it's going to be, this is the last year we will have daylight savings time.
Really?
That's what I heard.
So we still have to change our clocks back in the fall.
Right.
But then after that, we won't.
No, when we change our clocks back in the spring, we won't ever have to do it again.
I like the other one.
No, they don't want the other one because they want the longer summer nights.
You're stupid. Anyway, moving on. What is this? Oh, you know what? I did a little bit of a jump. Okay, so I forgot today's affirmation. I gladly give that which I no longer need in preparation for getting all that I want. I like that one. I get what I want when I want it. Isn't that right, Daddy? All right. Let's see. And birthdays. Let's find out what birthdays we're celebrating.
Well, I figured none since you jumped right to.
I know. I didn't even notice. It was just like instantaneous. But James and that Gary Bearden, 75 whole years old. Well, happy birthday, you guys. We hope you have a wonderful birthday. Also, upcoming birthdays, we have Emerson, Mateo. Oh, that famous actor, Wes Ramsey. Got him coming up. Also, Dan, James, Mike, Jim, Toby. What? Oh, you're clearing your throat.
Clearing my throat.
Okay. Playwright Mike Caffey, who we did his play The Coming Out Party. Oh, and Cindy Davis, that famous actress who was in both of the
opening lines.
Yes, thank you.
And
also,
she received an Ellie nomination.
That is true, and she deserved it. Also, Charles, author Jeff Adams, and also podcaster of the Big Gay Fiction podcast. Had to make sure I got that one right. We have actor Mark Sacco, and formerly of the Cocktails and Cream Puffs podcast.
Wait, is that how many words?
I think it's 4.
Okay.
Also, we have Jonathan, Richard, Hank, Rob Roberts. He is from the Orange Lounge Radio, gaming podcasts. He started a whole network of podcasting. Also a Sacramento boy, very, very famous. And he's now doing local MC gigs. And he got to do the MC for John Waters while he was here. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very sweet guy. Also, that Tom in Thailand. So he used to have the Tom in Thailand podcast back in the old Frequent Network days. So happy birthday to him. All right. Well, let's go ahead and just move right on into whatever is next. There we go. We did the affirmation, the feedback, chub hugs, and now it's time for some queer headlines. So Rainn Wilson apologized for the mean crack about trans people. Dwight Schrute, TV's Dwight Schrute from The Office, bought into anti-trans misinformation, then he learned better. Well, good. Joe Biden issues executive order to fight conversion therapy for LGBTQ fostering discrimination. He promises to work to get the law passed, banning conversion therapy on the campaign trail. Now he's doing what he can on his own. Excellent. Also, let's see. A court rules that charter school can't make girls wear skirts because they're fragile. Women are regarded as a fragile vessel that men are supposed to take care of and honor, the school's founder said to justify the gendered uniform policy. 3 hospitalized and 4 houses torched after someone set pride flags on fire. The Baltimore fire is being investigated as a possible hate crime. Possible. Chris Evans said it's great that Pixar is keeping Lightyear's same-sex kiss as 14 countries ban it. There's always going to be people who are afraid and unaware and trying to hold on to what was before, Chris Evans said, but those people die off like dinosaurs. Go Chris Evans. Your sexy factor just like went through the roof, girl. So, have you been listening to the, I know that you have, the January 6th hearings? Yeah. What are your thoughts so far?
I'm going to hold my thoughts until all has been revealed. No, no, no. I think it's been very enlightening,
Yeah.
and interesting to find out that I think the thing that got me the most was the hang Mike Pence thing.
Uh,
That it was they were well, there's many theories on what exactly. I mean, the whole idea was that Mike Pence, uh, as vice president, has to go to use what are those votes? The
electoral votes. Yeah.
electoral college votes.
There you go.
And if he doesn't do that, then it's not officially, confirmed,
Uh-huh.
the election. So what happens is there were many ways of doing that, but the whole idea was getting Mike Pence to not officiate the election. So if that's driving him out of the Capitol, out of the out of that area,
Right.
to where he couldn't do it. I mean, that's why he didn't leave the building, because his job is to confirm that. That's really, I mean, technically, unless there's a tie in the Senate, he's got no other job but to confirm the election.
Yeah.
And so they were figuring that if they could scare him out of the building, that we'd have to go back to the States. We'd be in a shambles. We wouldn't know what to do. And Trump would still be president. This is their logic. And and thankfully, Pence, I don't know if he did it because he knew that was what they were doing it for, but he wouldn't let them. They were trying to get him to leave the building. Secret Service had cars underground, with their secret back tunnel to get them out to where he wouldn't be noticed out of the building. And Pence is like, I'm not leaving.
Right.
His whole staff said they were all in the car waiting to go, and he wouldn't get out. And then they went, oh, we can't go. He's not leaving. So, and that's even with mother and his children there.
Yeah. See, I wondered if maybe he didn't leave because he knew that the Secret Service would take him to Trump or something worse.
No. If they took him anywhere, it'd probably be like Florida. Because if he's not there that night to confirm the election, there's the election's moot. That's what they were figuring. So, or at least that's what the plan, I think, was. And that never even occurred to me. Never.
No.
Even occurred to me.
Me neither. But that's very interesting. But I think that that if they had found him and got him, they probably would have hung him.
Well, no, some of the Proud Boys said that if they would have gotten Pence or Pelosi or AOC, they would have killed them.
Yeah.
So
and that's just that just right there is like taking shit to a level that you're like,
yeah, it's funny because it's like you can take a horse to water. And the same thing, you can take the rioters to the Capitol, but you can't depend on what their motivation is going to be, what they're going to do.
Right.
You can say, oh, they're just going to, scare some people. But no, I mean, it went much farther than that. 5 people were dead afterwards. Right. And, cops were beaten up, and this is coming from the cop loving part of the electoral here, and they were the ones beating up the cops. And so I think that had to be, I don't know. The thing is, we don't know. The other thing is, we don't know who was who's a Trumper and who wasn't. Because I remember watching the riots, and there were cops that were, Capitol cops that were sitting around doing nothing.
Right. That were like practically just.
I saw one guy kick open a gate.
Yeah.
One of the cops just kick open a gate. Fuck this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to deal with this. And whether it was, I mean, and it's not like, you know, oh no, you can go ahead and burn the Capitol down. No, that's not the way it works.
Right.
You know? So I don't know. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating what they found out, and it's so interesting that they would put stuff on emails, and you know, once they start looking at timelines, and you know, it's really interesting just how they've got it all blocked out, the committee,
Right.
and that the fact that the DOJ is going, we'd really like to see your notes, and they're going, in time you'll get the notes. But well, because they're not going to just hand over their shit. They've still got 2 more weeks of testimony to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, yeah, totally. Totally. All right. Well, let's see here.
Are you going to mention that the Texas people?
Would you like to? I think I have your
it's
text
just-
right here. Go ahead.
It's just the Texas GOP today released basically a platform of where they're at right now. And one of the things that they released was that, well, one of their things is homosexuality is an abnormal lifestyle choice. See, they got the choice in there. You know? And so this is basically what, you know, what people were saying with the abortion law, that with the abortion thing that they had coming in between Florida or Texas, one of them is going to go after, well, one of them will start to work at chipping away, you know, gay and lesbian rights. And that includes, you know, marriage, that includes adoption, that includes work.
Oh, and did you read that the abortion laws, if Roe versus Wade gets knocked down, that it can affect in vitro fertilization?
Yeah, it can affect condoms, the selling of condoms.
It's
well, wearing a condom is you know, you're basically putting a gun to a baby's head. And you know what's going to happen next? Then they're going to go after masturbation, which I think will be hilarious. You know, that because in some churches, masturbation is considered you're releasing your seed that should be to be making babies.
Right. Well, and in that point, then we have to go after making laws that straight people can only have sex when a woman is fertile, and other than that, they're not allowed to have sex.
Okay.
Yeah, works for me. Or we'll have to have wankathons. You know, like how we have big protests. We'll have to have like just, you know, a bunch of guys go like wank in front of the courthouse or something. Anyway, enough about that. Let's forget all that awful stuff and think about all the good that comes with Tom's week.
Well, this week we started, well, So You Think You Can Dance started its top 12. And this is when it's, you know, dance couples and they're being choreographed by professional choreographers. So this is where it's really the best. I mean, the auditions and the, you know, the Hollywood week, that's really kind of fun. But it's just amazing how good these people are when they get a qualified choreographer coming in there and teaching them the dance. And it's really so entertaining, and I love it. I hope it continues to do well enough to continue to keep doing the show, because it's really one of the best one of these that's out there, because I like the fact that they're using the choreographers. They're bringing in, you know, these specialty people who are teaching these well, and they're also giving opportunities for choreographers to come in and show what they can do. Because I mean, what dance is left outside of Broadway and music videos? There's not a whole lot of dance anymore.
Right.
And I like seeing, I like dance. I think it's it's just very creative, and it's like ice skating. We only get it every 2 years, or well, every 4 years, and it's too far in between. We need more. I liked it. I love the it's very entertaining. Finished The Offer, which was on Paramount Plus. That's the making of The Godfather. The ending was a little la la la, because we know how the movie opened. We know what Oscars it won. We know the reaction to the public and what was so. So that's what the last episode was, basically the opening of the show. Where are these guys going to, are they going to go make The Godfather Part 2, which we know some of them did. And it's just it was interesting, but it was anticlimactic. But what can you do? It's a historical piece.
Right.
You can kind of fudge on the way up, but what we know is true, they have to that has to be true. So still fun, still very interesting, good show. Let's see, to RuPaul this week. They did oh my god. Well, Edie and the Vivian won the week, and it was girl groups that they did, and it was fun. It's but they're really, the Vivian is going for Jinx, and so that's kind of pissing me off, because these two could rule the school, but the Vivian is trying to make sure Jinx isn't in there because she knows she's better than she is.
Mm-hmm.
And they have similar comedy. So, but there's a lot of other girls. Everyone else has won Drag Race as well. So why did they win? You just can't go after one person. Right. I think it's dumb. Let's see, on Trixie Motel, we just got into Space Room, yeah, which was interesting. Yeah.
Actually, so far that's actually my favorite room. I thought it looked really good,
even though it looks just like the other rooms with different wallpaper.
Yes, yeah, but actually,
that's the one thing about the show, is that there's still motel rooms. Yeah. They're going to be like 20 feet by 12 feet, and a bathroom, and that's all you get.
Right. But I thought they did a really good job. I loved the lighting for it. I was like around bed, but they did it well. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting with the little wallpaper snafu thing that they did,
yeah,
too. But I really actually, yeah, that's probably my favorite room so far.
We're actually, okay, so we're watching Barry on HBO Max. So we've watched the first 2 seasons, and the 3rd season just finished on HBO Max. So we're just starting the 3rd season, and it's getting very dark. The 3rd season's been very dark so far. So it'll be interesting to see where that one goes. But I mean, it's the concept is still funny. Here's a hired assassin who wants to retire and become an actor, and it's like, you can't. It's kind of like people who go undercover, not undercover, but witness protection program.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up going to some small town, and then they want to run for mayor. And it's like, okay, no, you need to shut up and stay in the house.
Yeah.
You need to be hanging low and not trying to, but yeah, still, I mean, it's all part of the fun. Let's see, we'll wait on that one. There was a movie called Interception. This is on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
It's about the Russians figuring out that if they dismantle our 2 locations that can send the bombs up to blow up the nuclear missiles, that if they can control those 2 places, then they can blow up America. And so they take over one, and the show's about them trying to hold the second one from attack. And it's It's not a good movie, but your mom might like it.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
because
that doesn't sound like something I would want to see.
it's kind of there's some like wildly bad acting,
Mhm.
and it doesn't have that crisp action look to it.
Mhm.
A lot of times it looks like a set, I mean, that kind of stuff. And it's kind of funny for that, but I mean, it was entertaining, but it's just it's not up to par. I don't know how you make a movie not look like it's filmed on a set. um
Yeah, right.
I don't know if it's a different kind of film, or it's the way it's lit, or what, but it's just like this movie has everything going for it, and then it just looks cheap.
Yeah,
So
I was watching something else actually that was actually pretty well done, and then the final scene was like such a set. I mean, it was like you were just looking at a set and said, "That's a set."
yeah, I mean, the Disney Plus shows, the kids shows, have um but they're better quality than this was. It's just where you'd expect it to be a little hokey, a little
Yeah.
silly, but it's just, yeah, it's not good.
Mm.
um let's see, Evil's back on Paramount Plus,
Mhm.
and I watched the second episode last night, and I can't remember much of what happened, because, well, I watched it last night. So I'll be watching episode 2 again to find out what really happened. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. Let's see. That's okay. That's good. And I went back and I looked up during the Tonys, the woman that hosted, who was in West Side Story. She said, and Broadway's called the Great White Way,
Mhm.
and she says, now that we're making changes, let's think of that more as a nickname opposed to a how-to.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
good.
that I thought it was really, really quite funny,
No?
uh, and and I like what we were talking about last week. I love the fact that Tonys our Broadway are finally realized we're making Broadway musicals for people who love Broadway musicals,
Mhm.
and stop making them for people who aren't going to come. And if they do, they talk during the show. They're
Mhm.
bored. That kind of get out of here.
Yeah.
Go take the tour of Manhattan. That kind of stuff. I'm enjoying Generation Drag
Yeah.
on Discovery. It's just, I think that the weird thing but it's funny because it's both Sean and I, and it's like, so there's two different generations looking at a newer generation.
Uh-huh.
uh, and Sean's looking at these kids as being like, oh my god, they're 11, 12, 13 years old, and they're
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 flamboyant.
either transitioning, or they're gay and they want to do drag.
Uh-huh.
And what I really love is not so much the kids, but the parents trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
The father's going, well, I really didn't think that looking for high heel drag shoes would be the thing that I would be doing with my son at 13, but we are. So here we are.
Right.
And then the mothers on the latest episode that I watched, the mothers are sitting around going, okay, right now so and so's doing this, and the way I'm trying to handle it is blah blah blah, and they're going, and one of the mothers going, oh my god, that's such a smart way of dealing with it, because when my kid dealt with that time period, I was like really hesitant. And there's like this calming
Yeah.
wonderfulness of these mothers learning from each other on how to deal with their kids who are not what every mother seems to
Yeah.
expect. Sure, we're going to have radical kids when they're in their teenage years, but not radical to the fact of I need to get a new dress because I'm not going to go out in that old frock.
Right. Like my
Oh,
11-year-old is boy is putting on makeup and better than I can, and he's like sparkles everywhere, glitter everywhere,
Yeah,
everything has to be pink, and this is my room with my special wigs, and I've named all my wigs. I'll tell you honestly, I watched part of it and I was like almost, I don't know, like I'm not gonna say that I was like having a panic attack or anything, but there were parts of me that I'm like, oh no, oh don't, oh no, it's like I was so from our generations, just like you don't do that. Oh my God. And here's a little kid doing that. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna beat you up.
yeah.
They're gonna pound you. You're gonna be, I'm just like, and so I had to overcome like my squeamishness of
Right. Well, that's
watching
what I'm
it because I
talking
just
about.
wanted to protect them,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Because at that point in time, I kept my mouth shut.
Uh-huh.
But there's one scene where one of the mothers is talking to her child
Hmm.
and trying to figure, well, first of all, she's going, now you're dating, you know, um, this person, and did we need to have the talk? And he's like, oh God, no, 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 we don't need that talk. And she's going, well, I just want to know because I want to keep everything open. I want to make sure you're okay, you're safe. And then they get in a whole conversation about non-binary and transitioning, and it was the mother's, like, the son's explaining like a pro,
Yeah.
and the mother is like you can see in her eyes, it's like, I can't even, I'm having trouble even comprehending what you're saying to me.
Right. And that's the other thing is now I've only watched episode 1 so far, but the level of maturity, I mean, obviously there is a level of immaturity because they're kids,
Right.
but there is, they know. I mean, they know the technical terms to shit. They know, like, they're explaining to other people. It was just, it's so different, and
It
yet
is.
it's so wonderful, and yet I still cringe because I'm like, please don't get beaten up at the end.
Well, you fear for the child because of our own past.
Yes.
And it's like, even if there was a hinting of being gay when we were kids, it created years of ridicule
And trauma.
and these kids are going to school given the big snap snap snap, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, and call going, I'm a she, her, or her she,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, everyone that has been in school with you for the last 6 years know that you were once a he,
Uh-huh.
him, and that's got to be crazy. It's got to be
Right.
crazy. And there's dangerous fucking people out there, even your own age.
Yes.
And so I'm rejoicing in the show because I think it's so important. Well, it's important for a lot of these moms and dads to
Yeah.
watch this and get a hint or an inkling of how they can, I don't want to say handle their own kids, but know how to handle their own kids.
Right. I mean, imagine how our parents would have been if they had truly, I mean, my mom said she knew when I was 4, but she just completely went into denial about it. And imagine how different it would have been if I had been able to like come out about, because I really started figuring it out about like 12, 13. If I had been able to come out and have the level of support that these kids have from their parents, then, I mean, I don't know if things would be that different, but I would have had what, 6 more years of being secure in who I was.
Right. Well, and even as we got into our 20s, there was
Mhm.
still, I mean, a lot of people still don't come out at work.
Right.
A lot of people don't come out to their families and do come out at work, but they completely eliminate their relationships with their families. And this is it's a problem today. I know people who are openly gay except to their families, and their families have no idea, but
Mhm.
because they've just cut them out.
Right.
And yeah, and if you, when you're in junior high and high school, if you had that opportunity, I mean, it's amazing what kind of growth you would have had as a person,
Mhm.
and maybe not feeling as insecure or frightened as we were a lot.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Anyway, there's another show on Discovery Plus called High Design, and this is and I can't remember her name. She's Kim Mills, I think it is.
Hmm.
She was one of the people who won the Design Star contest on the Home and Garden Channel. Um, and
Okay.
and what she's doing is she's going around Colorado, and she's redesigning uh, cannabis dispensaries.
Wow.
Yeah, and so she goes in, and some the first two we've watched, the places look like shit. It looks like shit. It looks like, oh, we kind of threw all this together because we were opening a dispensary, but we didn't have any cash to make it look, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
So and we've been seeing here at local dispensaries that they've gone from looking like, we've got some wine barrels that we use as tables, and we've got some old candy
Counter.
counters
Hmm.
to display our stuff in, and we've got like shower curtains across the back so you won't see where the safe is, and that kind of, and it's horrible. And now they're very streamlined. They're very Apple Store. That's what I when we were in San Diego. One was great. It was all open. They had a lot of stuff on display everywhere. The second one we went to had tables that were covered with glass, and that you would call over the tender and go, yeah, I'm interested in this and this, and you had to, and they would go and get the stuff from the back. It wasn't like going into the dollar store. This was more like going
Yeah.
into the Apple store. And so that was really interesting. But that's where they're kind of going. They're either going fully, here's who we are, and it's like everything's up on shelves and it's all pretty, or it's very minimalized. And so but that's what the show's about. It's her going in there and changing these, and they're all mom pops. They're not any of these corporate ones. These are the people who are trying to, save their businesses, because the big businesses are coming in.
Right.
Because I think they said it's like a $60 billion business right now,
Mhm.
and it's only growing.
Yeah.
So,
In fact, I heard there was a shortage, and they were buying from smaller growers.
well, that's the big problem that they're having is that yes, I mean there's a lot of cannabis use, and they're using a lot on things like edibles and other than just smoking. So the smoking flower isn't getting as much love as it once was. Well, it's getting more love than they anticipated. So you get these big companies that are making it, and they're running out. So when they run out, they have to search for other sources, and these sources don't do the lovely packaging, and they don't do all the glitz and glamour that these big ones know what to do to sell their product. And so but it's great because they still get some flour out of these places, and that's actually flour. The smoking flour is still the number one portion of the business. So people making their own joints and smoking it, boom. Number two is edibles. So, and then there's different, the terpenes, and then the rosins, the hash, the snap, I'm not sure, but there's all these different ways you can acquire cannabis. And now they've got the ones where you can get there's one called Delta. It's 9 Delta, I think it is. And it's a form of hemp, they get you high.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and they're developing more shit. But this show is less about that and more about selling your goods.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then I did see another movie this week called Ambulance. This is with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm
What?
not gonna watch that, but yes.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, it was fun, terrible.
Mm.
It's about Jake Gyllenhaal is actually the bad guy, and
Mm-hmm.
he gets his brother, his adopted brother, and him are involved in a bank robbery, and it's them trying to not get killed. So, but it's Michael Bay, and it's lots of explosions, and it's silly, but some good performances. And but Jake Gyllenhaal did not take off his shirt, and this should be a necessity in any Jake Gyllenhaal movie that
Him and Ryan Reynolds, it needs to be in the contracts that they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how about your week?
Well, so my mom had her birthday, her 71st birthday this last week. And so I got a bunch of little gifts, very nice little kind of new agey, like crystals and little bracelets and little necklaces and dream catchers and things like that. And so I took a note from the fairies. How fairies like to leave little gifts in hidden places so that you can just find them, stumble upon them. And I did that. So throughout the day, I would put new little gifts in, like little places like on the bathroom kitchen faucet, or hanging from the mirror, or on the door handle that I knew she was going to go through, or things like that. So she just had a day of discovering all sorts of little gifts. And then the bigger gift was the wind chimes. And also I got a new strip to go across the floor of her bedroom door, because it's kind of torn up and she's hit herself on the screws there before. So anyway, it was a very lovely day. She didn't want cake, she got cheesecake and seafood salad. It was very nice. So yeah. I have renewed my WoW subscription. There was some new content that dropped, so I renewed that and have been enjoying playing again, although I'm starting to wane a bit. I'm looking forward to the new expansion, but that's not going to be at least for another 5-6 months, I think. So, but yeah, it was kind of fun to just play again and play without the anxiety that I was experiencing, because this expansion turned it from having fun playing into a job. You have to do all this stuff if you want this, and it was just like you have to be on every day, and you have to do it's just very grindy. So I burned out. Other than that, let's see. I did watch some stuff. Watched episode 5 of The Boys, and this one was good. They didn't have as much gore on it. They certainly didn't have as much male man butt as they've been having, which was a disappointment. But yeah, some interesting things going on. So, we'll see. Anyway,
it felt very
really good.
It felt very like there just not a lot. I mean, Homelander's intimidating everybody, and it seemed like we were transitioning to the next one. It was not really a episode.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was kind of filler, but it was okay. Let's see, and then Miss Marvel episode 2. Ms. Marvel, have you been watching that?
I have.
I loved it. hell, I learned more about the Pakistani culture in one episode than I've known all my life.
You know who's gonna call you on that?
No.
The person who you just said his quote.
Who is that?
Tim. Tim said the exact same thing.
Oh, yes, I know. Actually, and I like that post. It's actually, I probably stole it from him, but
That's what I
it's
just
true.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
true.
absolutely
No,
true.
it's absolutely true. But I was sitting there going, "Oh my God, word for fucking word! Look at you! Shame on you!" Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no, I did get it from him actually.
Yeah.
But it's true, and I'm really enjoying it. And actually, I was on the edge of my seat at the end of the episode. So yeah, I mean, it's still got a little bit of the drawing in the younger viewer type thing, but I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I am too.
Let's see. Orville New Horizons, episode 3. Now I'm trying to remember which one this was. Oh, this is the one where they got stuck on the planet, and no spoilers. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good episode. It kind of reminded me of a couple of the Star Trek episodes.
Yeah, but Spock never called anybody a five-head. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it was fun. It was easy to figure out where it was going.
Yeah.
After about the second one, but still, it was still a fun episode.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And the ending was kind of a surprise. The whole thing behind it.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that. So that
I didn't need that totally threw me.
Yeah, and in fact, I had to like remember back. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, now I remember that. But yeah, fun, just fun. Let's see. Trixie Motel, we talked about that. How cute was George? Her co-bar owner. The
Oh yeah,
adorable. Let's see. Obi-Wan, episode 5. Did you catch up on that?
Yes.
Fun. Interesting turn there toward the end. Very, very interesting. No spoilers. But yeah.
Yeah.
Although, come on, I don't see, I will say that I just don't see how she would have thought that she could ever. I mean, it's Vader. Come on. You really think that you can get something over on Vader?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I see Generation Drag. I checked out Iron Chef on Netflix. It's the new Iron Chef.
Yes.
And that they're doing. It was okay. I guess maybe I just wasn't in the mood to focus too much on it. So, but it was okay.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I've only watched the first episode and about 10 minutes the second, so I need to kind of just, how it is after the first episode or something, they usually get a little tighter. And I watched No Time to Die, which is the newer Bond movie. I think it's the newer Bond movie, 2001.
Yeah, we discussed it last week. Yeah. I did.
You did? Okay. Yeah, so I don't know why the hell I watched it. I usually don't bother with Bond movies because the few that I've tried to watch have just been bored out of my skull. The only reason I made it through like the Remington Steele ones is just because Pierce Brosnan was so cute. But I was into it. I was totally into this one. I thought they did a really good job. Yes, it was a little long, but
now, did you like Remy in this?
Remy, which one was?
He's the bad guy.
No.
Yeah, I didn't like.
I mean, it was just like they. Well, I guess he was a Bond character because it seemed like he was just evil for no real reason.
Yeah, but he was so mealy. It was, it's like, I didn't believe him.
Yeah. I would agree with you.
How did this guy ever get this, this much power?
Mhm.
I just don't know how he would have done that.
He inherited it from his father, probably, because I don't know what else he would have done.
Yeah, I don't either. It's yeah,
And not to mention the fact that he was the one that, like, in the beginning, that I'm like, really? That was him? How could he walk that long just to get there? I think you've seen it, so you probably know what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
trying not to do too many spoilers for those that haven't. But anyway,
But for
for the
those of
most
you
part,
that, but those who are Bond fans, it is for free on Prime, and I know a
yeah,
lot of people have Prime. So
cool. But and it's worth a watch, even if you're not a huge Bond fan. Usually, this is the best one that I've seen, and I actually enjoyed it. So, um, anyway, let's see. Then we have the only other thing that I've been watching. I have I bought All American Girl on DVD because I couldn't find it anywhere. It's not on streaming anywhere. It's not out there anywhere in other circles. It's not there. So I spent, I think, like $11 and bought the complete series of it. That's the one from I think it was late 80s. I don't think it was 90s. I think it was late 80s of All American Girl with Margaret Cho and Amy Hill, who I absolutely adore. Um, and parts of it kind of stand up still. Um, a lot of it doesn't necessarily. Uh, it's very TGIF-ish, which late 80s sitcoms were. They didn't pack a punch. It wasn't until like the mid to late 90s that sitcoms started actually having an edge or a bite to them, except for like maybe Roseanne. But so yeah, but it's been really fun to see. And I think that it was too ahead of its time with too much racial uh, stuff to go along with it, that it wasn't ready. Yeah, it would be very different show now, and probably better, and probably wouldn't need even that much tweaking to the writing, just more punch to it. Anyway, so let's see. We want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told that we're too much of something turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs Gone Wild listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWILDCHUB to get 20% off anything while ordering at fatmarkerclothing.com. Well, let's get into some advice here. This comes from Dear Prudie, slate.com. Go check them out. Today is my brother's birthday. About a year ago, I cheated on my girlfriend, and I confided in him. My girlfriend has since forgiven me, and we've worked hard to move on and leave the past behind us. But she found out that my brother knew about my infidelity and has carried a hateful resentment ever since. She believes if he had any honor or respect for women, then he would have ratted me out or at least tried harder to stop me. She forbid me to see him for months, and I reluctantly agreed until I finally broke down and told her I can't be with her if she forces me to choose between her and my brother. He and I live in the same city and we're fairly close until this happened. Well, I see him from time to time and we have several mutual friends, but she still refuses to have anything to do with him. And there's a lot of tension whenever he comes up. My brother is non-confrontational to say the least and prefers to just ignore the situation and make the most of the rare time we have together. Is my girlfriend merely protecting herself as she claims, or has her bitterness gone too far? I think she's projecting her anger for you onto him.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to get rid of you, even though she's still mad at you because you were dumbass and cheated on her. But the only thing that she can do is take it out on you and punish you by saying that you can't be with your brother. Anyway, I say, who needs her? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like there's something. I mean, it doesn't sound happy. You know, I mean, she's forbidding you from seeing your family, well, your brother. You know, why did you cheat on her? There's so many questions, but I don't like ultimatums like this.
Yeah, me neither.
So I would probably think about uncoupling.
I think there's too many issues. You can't keep trying to choose between the two, especially if you end up marrying her. You can't have your brother at the wedding.
Well, who cares about that? The fact is, who needs a wedding? No, it's just she's setting up a bad precedent now, and this is not going to stop. You gave in to her and didn't see your brother for months. Okay, so she's holding all the huevos right now. And this, and maybe I'm looking at this from a man's point of view, but I think that I don't know. This isn't sitting well with me.
No, I don't think. I don't think that it really matters whether it's a man or a woman. The fact is that there's an issue there. There's an irrational issue there. Just because somebody knew about it and didn't say something, you said something. You're the one who confessed it. You're the one that, you know, it would have been very different if he had gone and ratted her out or ratted him out, and then she would have loved him and hated her boyfriend.
Why would he do that? I mean,
yeah, that makes no fucking sense.
It's not my okay. First of all, it's none of my business. I mean, granted, my brother told me that he did this, but that doesn't make it my business.
Right. Oh, I believe in honor and respect of all women. Therefore, I'm going to go tell your girlfriend now. That's stupid. She's got issues.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's what Dear Prudie said. Keep the brother, lose her. Yep. She thinks infidelity is a near unforgivable offense, yet she has forgiven you. But she won't forgive your brother for being told by you what you did. She actually has never forgiven. Okay. She actually has never forgiven you. She is going to make you pay for your transgression every day. Your brother just happens to be the most convenient target. So go celebrate your brother's birthday, invite her to come along, and when you take your brother out, if she won't go, fine. But if she tries to forbid you to go without her, how does she forbid you from seeing your brother? She locks you in your room? She might. You stepped out on your girlfriend for some reason. Now you have ample reason to end the relationship permanently. Interesting. That's pretty much exactly what we said.
Yeah, and
it's a little better worded.
Yeah, but yeah, I still want to know why he cheated on her. I mean, maybe it's because she's a bitch.
Could be. Sometimes you're just in a situation and you're like, well, here we are. I'm doing this, I guess.
Ugh.
Anyway. Yeah. Hey, Chubs, what current show is your favorite?
Wow, that's tough. Current, I would say, God, it's hard. It's hard because I watch a lot. Because I'm trying to think of probably Nuke's top 5.
Okay.
That's what I'm always waiting for.
Mine's kind of a toss-up between the Orville and Miss Marvel. Ms. Marvel. Hey, Chubs, have you ever flown first class?
I have not flown first class, but I have flown in a general's airplane.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of classy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, well, because in the military, you would catch military transport. And so when we were going to the Azores, my dad was already there. My mother and brother and I, we ended up flying with this general he was heading to the Azores as well. So they would throw you on the plane and it's like, okay, I'll do that. That's good. But I'd like to do first class because I hate coach.
Yeah, I've never flown. So
Oh, you'd hate it. You would hate it.
I know. You always tell me when I say I haven't done anything, you're always like, oh, you're not missing anything. But I've actually been on a plane from a field trip. So I've been on a plane, but I've just never flown. But I probably hate it. So anyway. Hey, Tom, take a guess. What's Cher's net worth?
$73 million.
Oh, good guess. As of 2022, Cher's net worth is estimated to be roughly $360 million.
So that wasn't a good guess.
Well, I mean, you were only like 290 million off, kind of 285 million. So that's close.
No, it's not close.
Okay. Hey, Moose wrote in and said, here's what's in my lunchbox. Starting with, it's Vice Day. Let me explain. After eating clean all week and weight training like a madman, I get a few indulgences on Friday night. A couple of cocktails, some pizza, or tonight, brownies. Chewy, gooey, caramel, and chocolate goodness. And they look really good. Now I want some brownies. Also, got red curry chicken for lunch, coconut cream sauce, tender chunks of chicken, mixed vegetables. Yummy.
It looks good.
It does. Yeah, usually I'm not too much into sauces, but that looks really good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd flip that rice right in there and stir it all together and eat it with a big spoon.
Yeah, actually with the rice, that looks even better.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love gravy and rice.
Yeah, I do. You know what I've been really wanting lately is Lori Dean, not speaking of gravy, of course, but Lori Dean makes a really good fried pork fried rice and chicken fried rice. And I would just love him to make some pork fried rice. He hasn't done it in ages, at least not for us, but it's really good. Anyway, all right. Send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment on chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Watch us on YouTube. Just look up Chubs Gone Wild. Also, please consider becoming a patron of the show over at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. And find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at swannerandjudd.com. Find their podcast in iTunes or on iHeartRadio. But don't expect a new episode until next week. Find out more about Matt's books at justkisstheguy.com. And check out his other podcast at biggaysexshow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes, Queen. So that brings us to the end of another show. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in, for supporting, and for loving, because we love you. And we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.